In my head, I think of this as the soft fork paradox, where basically the core developers are tasked with keeping Bitcoin as it is known alive and maintaining Bitcoin, the reference implementation, and that kind of is core. And because there's no spec, because there are no written rules, the reference implementation is Bitcoin. So if you're a core developer, if you're a maintainer, your job is to maintain Bitcoin as you found it, basically. And so there's this kind of fundamental problem of who is tasked with. I mean, you can. It's a stretch, but you can define every soft fork as an attack, because it's an attack on the status quo, and it may be an upgrade. It may be that 90% of people want this attack, but it's an attack because it changes the rules. So it's kind of a, there's kind of an oath that you take, kind of an implicit oath as a maintainer that, thou shalt not change the consensus rules. And so to merge in a soft fork, and especially the activation parameters for a soft fork, you're kind of violating that oath. So to me, it's this big open question of who is tasked with making these changes. And I think it's easy to forget that there are people behind the merge button on GitHub, or the merge script that the maintainers run. There's a human being that is sitting behind that and clicking or hitting enter and saying, boom, I've broken my oath. I've decided to fork Bitcoin. That's a real thing that someone has to do. And so who is that person? Who can be tasked with that? Gloria has that power. Do you want to do that? Like that doesn't seem like a fun Thursday night.